So I was watching ESPN a couple of minutes ago, and I had to make a video immediately because three of the four analysts did not have us making the playoffs. And I can't understand why. I mean, the New England Patriots over the LA Chargers who won 11 games last season and got better this offseason. You look at this analyst right here, Field Yates, he's got the Steelers and the Bengals and the Broncos making it over us. That's just not going to happen. We beat the Bengals, we swept the Broncos, and the Steelers did beat us, but Justin Herbert wasn't playing. So that's kind of the thing here. And then you look at the Peter right here, who's got the Dolphins, Bengals, and Broncos in over us. The Bengals have maybe the worst defense in football. The Broncos aren't going to be able to beat us this year, just like they weren't last year. The Dolphins, like, what are we doing? A team that can't play in cold weather, a team that has a lot of issues. I don't understand it. And then Dan Orlovsky has the Chargers making it, but he also has the Broncos winning the division. What is all of this Denver praise? And this is someone who's followed Denver the entire offseason, so nobody can step here and say you're biased because I know all about the Broncos and I watched all their games last season. I followed them throughout the season. They have the best defense, arguably. They were first in EPA last season. They sort of filled out the middle of their defense, of course, by going and getting Armstead and getting Hufanga from the Niners. But the thing about the Broncos is, Bo Nix is a good young quarterback, but he's not on the level of a Justin Herbert, and you need that type of superstar at quarterback to be able to take this division, to be able to not necessarily make the playoffs. Bo Nix was solid, man. He had a pretty good rookie season. I thought he was good. But the defense was what got them there. And the Chargers defense what gave up the fewest points in football. Of course, it added to the interior of the defensive line. They also went out there and they got Dante Jackson. They brought back Khalil Mack. I think Tuli Tuipulotu and Diane Henley are going to take those next steps and become some of the better players at their position. I mean, Henley already is one of the best players of football, but I think he's going to get even better. But it's offensively is the thing with these two teams. And the Chargers didn't have a run game last year, so they drafted Maureen Hampton in the first round. They bring in, of course, Najee Harris from the Steelers. The offensive line is an issue. Yeah, Pipkins isn't exactly the best right tackle in the world, but they did get Zion Johnson. I do think it's going to be a better unit. And if it was really that big of a concern, management would have addressed it. They decided to bring back Zion Johnson and Bradley Bozeman. But none of that exactly is even my point here. Is yes, to win a Super Bowl, the Chargers do need a good offensive line. Their defense does need to continue to play well. But it's all about the quarterback. Bo Nix is probably I would say he's an above average quarterback. Bo Nix is, I don't exactly know where I'd rank him. Probably, I don't know, like around like the 15th best quarterback in football, somewhere around there. Justin Herbert has a case to be a top 5 quarterback, and I thought Herbert played his best football of his young career last season, at least from an efficiency standpoint. Herbert didn't have the passing yards or the passing touchdowns as we've seen him at his best, but he didn't turn it over and he was exceptionally accurate. And now that he has more talent around him, we haven't talked about the receiver position. Keenan Allen's back, who he's got chemistry with. Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith, Tyler Conklin, Rodney Gadsden. There's a lot more weapons. Ladd McConkey's only going to get better. I have him having a monster season. I think Ladd is going to go well over 1,000 yards and continue. Now, the Chargers, the thing about them is they have to prove something, which is crazy because the Broncos, what have they proved to win this division or to be over the Chargers? I don't get that at all. Both teams, well, they got blown out in the wild card. The Chargers kind of shot themselves in the foot with turnovers. The Chargers are going to have to beat the Chiefs to get any respect. And winning tomorrow night in Brazil will certainly be a start, but they have to do it in the playoffs. But it has to start tomorrow. Like the Chargers, that's why I called it a must-win game. And I did read your guys' comments last night. I haven't read them today. But there was one comment, and it was like, oh, that's crazy, calling it a must-win game. The Chargers are not going to lose tomorrow and then have a deep playoff run. Like, that's just not going to happen. They need to immediately set the tone, and both teams are at their healthiest. Like, this is the healthiest that the Chargers and the Chiefs will be moving forward. It's the first game of the year. The Chargers can't find a way to win this game. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, and I don't think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC this season. I think the Bills and the Ravens will be better than them. I know every year we say that. There's just something telling me that the Bills and the Ravens are going to win more games. So if you can't beat the Chiefs, how are you going to beat those teams? And of course, we didn't get to see the Chargers face off against those two teams, which kind of sucked because it would have been fun. I know for certain that the Chargers offensively have to prove that they can hang with this Chiefs defense that is one of the better units in football, because last time these two teams played, the Chargers were unable to even score 20 points. So they've got to be able to move the ball down the field. Herbert has enough around him. Sure, I'm concerned about the right side of the line with Pipkins because I think Chris Jones is going to line up over there and pick on him. But if Pipkins can just kind of hold his own, maybe Matlock, the fullbacks, can be able to help him or send a chip or something, but just take Chris Jones out of the game as much as possible. And guys have to get open, and Herbert's going to find them. I think Trey Harris is enough next to McConkey. Keenan Allen complements them well. Keandre Smith, I think as the season goes on, is going to emerge sort of like you need to use a Broncos example. Marvin Mims Jr. after like week 12 became a legit playmaker for the Broncos. I think Keandre Smith is going to be sort of the same situation, but they have to run the ball. Amari and Hampton, everyone wants to talk about Najee Harris this, Najee Harris that. I want the Chargers to give Hampton as many touches as possible because he has the talent and the ability. And when you have a rookie running back on a rookie deal, that's the time to go out there and to give them a bunch of carries. And yeah, you want to keep them fresh for the playoffs. You got Najee to take off some of the pressure. But this is the type of game where Amari and Hampton needs to go out there and showcase why he was a first-round pick and why the Chargers took a chance on him and drafted him so high. Absolutely, he was a first-round grade for me, and I had no complaints whatsoever. I was actually kind of encouraged that the Chargers drafted him. But it's time to show why. David Montgomery gets a lot of work for the Lions, which, again, is understandable, but Jahmyr Gibbs is, I think we can kind of all agree here, is a much more talented running back. And the more Jahmyr Gibbs is on the field, the better things are going to happen. So I think Amari Hampton is a guy I'm looking out for. It's his first game. He's a rookie. I'm not expecting him to be Saquon Barkley or anything like that. But the Chargers haven't had a running back like this, or at least they didn't have one last season. I mean, they had Austin Eckler, who was awesome. He was the profile pitcher, actually, before Herbert took it over. Austin Eckler, man, he was an absolute stud. But the thing about the Chargers is when they had Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen is that the rest of the roster wasn't great. Like, they didn't have a good defense. Now, all of a sudden, you've got that stud running back, and you've got a defense to complement him. You've got some wideouts. You got coaching and all this. And, Justin Herbert's still here, obviously. So I just look at the Chargers and, for a couple of weeks after the Slater injury, I kind of lost all hope, but I regathered it just knowing that, hey, look, Jim Harbaugh's here, an X-Men up mentality. It could be much worse than Trey Pipkins. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that, but Pipkins, he's had stretches during his NFL career where he's legitimately been good. He can play multiple positions. And even like beyond Pipkins as well, the Chargers have another offensive lineman that I like a lot, of course, in Jamari Sawyer. Andre James has experience. Maybe not the best, but still, I think the Chargers are talented enough to compete with the Chiefs. And when you look around the league and you look at a Jalen Hurts and you look at a Josh Allen and a Joe Burrow and a Justin Herbert, like these, and Lamar Jackson, these quarterbacks, you need one of them to be able to take out the Chiefs. I mean, you look at who's beating the Chiefs: Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts, who I just mentioned. That's it. And Joe Burrow. Josh Allen has yet to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. Lamar has yet to beat him. So you need a elite quarterback. And that's why I have faith in the Chargers, because they have everything they need. It's just Justin Herbert. Last season, Herbert didn't play well, but they didn't lose because of Justin Herbert. They lost because the interior of the line was garbage. They didn't have enough at the skill position. Yeah, Herbert was bad. I'll be the first to tell you that as a big Herbert fan. But now it seems like there's really kind of no excuse here. I mean, losing Slater, yes, but if you're Herbert, you still have to be able to find a way. It's going to be tough, but you have to do it, man. And I think he will. I think that the Chargers will win tomorrow, but I've also said that a lot, and they haven't. So, this isn't the first time I've said, hey, the Chargers are beating the Chiefs. So, I'm hoping that Herbert kind of proves me right. And yeah, it's going to be pretty deflating if the Chargers lose, but a lot of it is how you lose as well. Like if the Chargers lose 27-24 in a game-winning field goal, the season isn't over. I mean, yeah, it sucks, but okay, like you lost by a field goal to the Chiefs. So how can we improve from it? How can we be better? But it feels like one of those games where the Chargers just need to find a way to win. It could be a shootout. It could be a 10-7 game. I don't know. They just need to find a way to win this one, man. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's very similar to the Texas-Ohio State game, where it's just week one, offense is kind of slow, and it's just two elite defenses wreaking havoc. But I think there's a major concern, red flag for both of these offensive lines. I mean, the Chiefs have a rookie at left tackle. They've got Kingsley Sumatai at guard. And then, of course, they've got their right tackle, Jawan Taylor. And then we've got Pipkin. So, and we also have Bozeman and Zion Johnson. So, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know the future. I'm not a wizard, but all I know is I'm excited for this game, and I'm really hoping the Chargers pull through here, man, because I've been covering them for 5 years to this point, and man, it's been rough. It's they made the playoffs twice, collapsed in the first one, and then Herbert was awful in the second game, and now it's like, come on, man, like let's go, guys, get it done, find a way.